kind of using your functional teams when you're doing a leader and the team itself, would you like recommend doing it leader first and then team, or do it full team together to start off with? And kind of give me some examples of times where it's worked or not worked.
Yeah. So first of all, it's worked both ways, and I've experimented both ways. When I first started the game, when I first designed it 4 years ago, I'd always designed the process to be leader first. And then more and more people were saying, well, we can't get our leadership team together. We can only get our team together at the same time. So just by necessity, I had to start doing it the other way. So I was able to see and experience both the ways of doing it. And I've seen it work perfectly fine both ways. I am still always interested in nudging the leaders to do it first, though, if you are able to find the time and bring the team together, because it really then, when they do the team workshop, they can then in the back of their mind be thinking back to what they came up with as a leadership team and how it might differ when their team are doing it. So throughout that session, they have a real chance to reflect on it themselves and think about where they've got to. Plus also, I've run sessions where the leader has gone through it. This is just the story that I'm going to tell you now is a CEO with 20 people, so a very flat organization. So there's no levels of leadership beneath him. And I did it with him on his own. And we went through what he wanted to feel and not feel, what he wanted his teams to feel and not feel. And then we did the team workshop, which he was a part of. And at the end of that session, when the team had come up with their list of top 5 for each, he then presented what he'd come up with and then talked about the connections between them. And it was a really powerful moment where they could see there was real connection. And also he was able to explain why a couple of his cards weren't in their list and why that was the case. So that worked really well in a smaller team. But saying that, we've run really large organizational workshops where we've done it with the staff, so to speak, the teams first, and then we've done leadership later. And it just means the reflective piece is the opposite way, because as they're going through it as a leadership team, they've already experienced or seen or heard what their teams want, and then they're able to use that to inform what they come up with. More often than not, though, it unfortunately or fortunately, it just comes down to what the appetite for the organization is. They're like, we can't get our leaders together. We can only get them together for this time. Unfortunately, the time constraints we have. So let's just do that. So you have to be willing. I've had to be willing to be real agile and then not stay so, what's the word to it? So attached to my process that I've been able to just work around it. And actually, if you open up to that and take that as a challenge and try things, you'll actually learn your own preferred way of doing it as well. The more you do it, and you might find that actually you prefer to work with the leaders first because that allows you to have other conversations at the same time that you might want to fit into what they then do in the team workshop. So I'm really encouraging people to be open to either or, and then use that to find your own sort of way through it, because your style might be different from mine. And in my opinion, that's really cool and actually important.